Did I leave him in the front seat with the keys in the ignition? Fuck, I can't believe I just did that. Imagine being the cop that did that. I mean, hey, what are you doing? See, now, don't you think it would just be easier to go to fucking work than to try to go to Walmart, buy a shit ton of ammunition with fake money that no one's going to believe you anyway, and now you're running from the cops, and, oh, I got an idea. Let's shoot at the cops. He's shooting.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Today we're reacting to Minnesota Walmart shooter gets released and does it again. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. Let's say, for the sake of example, you decide to go shopping at Walmart. You have a very unpleasant experience there because you're all of a sudden now on the run from the cops like this guy is. Well, you got to hide out. And what do? You need a lawyer. You absolutely need a lawyer. But you can't go to his office because his office is in the same building as the sheriff's department, which is the same thing as mine, actually. Can't tell you how many times I've ridden up the elevator with people with warrants and the sheriff is standing right there. You get the right guy. He's downloaded the app and you get 3 free signatures a month and you're able to remotely sign an agreement. And here's the other thing about eSign. Doing remote agreements like this is actually good for business because if you have an agreement that you need to have signed quickly, you don't have to come to the office. You can preserve a deal, if time is of the essence. So eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. Now, here's the thing. I want to just put a shout out to our fans, content genius Michael Rivers. He gives me the pearl handle pistol cufflinks. We love doing this together. I see him all the time, and it's really a labor of love. It's just we make a good team, and it's just the two of us. He films it. I spit my yarns. I spin my yarns, and then he edits it and posts it. So it's just the two of us, and it's kind of a fun project that we're doing. But the fans and what we've created here is just, you guys are awesome. You guys are just absolutely awesome. I had one fan that called my office. She was a radiologist, and pointed out that I had this thing on my face, and I should probably, it's sun damage or whatever it is, because I usually don't wear sunscreen. Probably should. Next week, I have an appointment to go get it checked out with my dermatologist. So you guys are just awesome. Awesome. So let's get into this. This is a Minnesota Walmart shooter gets released, then does it again. First of all, I'm not going to endorse or badmouth Walmart. That's just a place I don't go.
One suspect with an extensive and violent criminal history shoots at police in Minnesota only to get released, steal a cop car, and start shooting at police all over again.
Let's just say that's not a good idea. It never ceases to amaze me when people do this, because guess what? How many times out of 10 do you think it's successful? 0.
My radio.
Around noon on March 16, 2020, officers were called to a Walmart in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, to investigate some potential shoplifting, along with the purchase of a suspicious amount of ammo from the...
When you go buy things, it can raise red flags. For example, you used to be able to buy Sudafed, just buy the store out of Sudafed. What did that mean if you were buying Sudafed? It means you were making methamphetamine. That's what it meant. You can't do that now. That's why all the methamphetamine that comes into this country or is available in this country is no longer homemade. It comes from Mexico. You go buy up a shit ton of ammo and you look suspicious, you're going to draw attention.
Surveillance footage. The suspect in question can be seen paying cash for an item in the electronics section of the store. However, it is worth noting that this individual has a criminal history of counterfeiting. In fact, at the time this video was recorded, he had just served a several-year-long sentence for counterfeiting. He was also charged with the illegal possession of a firearm and for possessing at least 6 grams of cocaine, heroin, and/or meth.
Now, it seems to me somebody like this should probably find a different avenue of making money because he's not a good criminal. Now, when you're making your own money, it's not hard to figure that out. You ever see them? They can put it up against a machine, or they can have a pen to tell if it's real. The other thing, with the firearm, it's a 5-year mandatory minimum. And then you got the drugs on top of it. So you got drugs, a gun, and you have funny money.
After filling up his cart past the brim, the suspect walks himself to the self-checkout lane. Here, suspected accomplices can be seen. When the suspect walks out the door to leave, he is confronted by police, and the following scene unfolds.
Down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground right now! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground right now!
I don't know that if they're pointing a gun at me, if I continue to run, but just what they did alone, if they just say, hey, what, I'm cool, I'm no fool, and, that'd be fine. But, my former father-in-law was a cop in New York, and he said, you always know which one to go after. It's the one that's running. He's shooting. He's shooting. You want to talk your way out of this? Now, you see how far away they are? Handguns are notoriously inaccurate, at a distance.
Highway 33, shots fired, Walmart parking lot.
That's one of the reasons why I don't go to Walmart. Because this is the kind of shit that only happens at Walmart. I guess we got a little bit more ammunition for this guy. A little higher firepower. See, now, don't you think it would just be easier to go to fucking work than to try to go to Walmart, buy a shit ton of ammunition with fake money that no one's going to believe you anyway, and now you're running from the cops, and, oh, I got an idea, let's shoot at the cops. And the danger, look at, he's shooting into these, where all these fucking shoppers are and cars are. It's super, super fucking dangerous.
You okay, cut? Yeah, I'm good. Where is he? You okay?
He's okay.
Stay down! Get down! Don't you get down on the ground right now! Down on the ground!
And like I've said before, cops don't run away from danger. They run to danger. So you can have this job. Think I want to be chasing down some guy with a gun? I'm a basement window man myself.
While one officer pursues the shooter.
And this is why cops' wives worry. This kind of stuff.
This officer orders the two suspected accomplices to get on the ground.
Now let's talk about the accomplices. There's a thing called accomplice liability. Let's say you and I go to the store, and there's two scenarios. One, I know you're going to rob the store, and I act as a decoy. Or two, I'm just with you. Well, mere presence alone is not enough. But if we go to rob a store and you kill somebody, I'm liable for that murder, just as if I'd pulled the trigger myself. So if these guys knew what was going on, you kind of have to know what's going on, and you have to sort of be part of it. You can't just be present for the crime. I think they got a little more than they bargained for when they initially walked into Walmart.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands up.
So you get the guns out, you get the dander of the cops up like nobody's business. Because it's life-threatening. It's life-threatening to them, and it's life-threatening to anybody around.
After the incident, the shooter was sent to the hospital to recover from his injuries, which were not fatal. No other injuries were reported. While court documentation for this incident is not readily available, news sources indicate that the shooter was charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, particularly the use of deadly force against a peace officer.
First-degree assault against a peace officer in Minnesota is a 10-year mandatory minimum. You don't get fucking good time on something like that.
And 1 count of possession of ammunition or a firearm.
That's a 5-year mandatory minimum.
A convicted felon. 2 additional charges were filed against the suspect months later for the same incident. He was charged with second-degree assault and first-degree robbery for pointing his gun at a woman in an alleged attempt to carjack her during the shooting. Take note of this dark form of foreshadowing. The sentencing results of this case have become moot after the suspect posted bail in April of the next year.
What happens is you get arrested, you go to court, and then the court sets bail. Now, on something like this, you would think the bail would be high, like $500,000 to $1 million, because these are attempted murders of a cop, really. I don't even know why it wasn't attempted murder, because it was. And constitutionally, you're entitled to bail, but you're not entitled to low bail. Bail. Remember bail is really designed for 2 things: 1, for risk of flight to make sure you come back to court, and 2, danger to the public. When you got somebody that's that crazy and has such disregard for everybody around him and is trying to shoot at cops, that is a factor definitely taken into account for high bail.
And would be involved in another incident with police. On May 19, 2021, the suspect was stopped during a routine traffic violation in Utah. At the time, he was traveling with a female in the passenger seat. The traffic violation eventually led to enough suspicion for the officer to conduct a search of the vehicle. The officer calls for more squads to arrive on scene. The officers are unaware that the suspect is out on bail for shooting at officers in Minnesota.
So do you have any other idea? It's probably a little question. Based on the stories, nothing that well, that ID didn't even look like her at all.
See that? Based on the stories, nothing's adding up. That's why you get stopped. You don't talk. You don't have to.
Just so you know, he's consented to a search of the vehicle. Okay? Is there anything illegal with the vehicle that I need to be aware of before we find it?
Nothing illegal here. Nothing to see. Oh, no. that always just kills me when you're on the side of the road and you're kind of at a whim. You have a reasonable expectation of the highest reasonable expectation of privacy in your home. So a warrantless search of your home, absent some exception, is per se unreasonable and illegal. But you have less of an expectation of privacy in your car. So all they have to have is probable cause to search your car. Slightly more true than not true. And they can search your car with permission. So if he gave her the permission, if he's driving her car and he's in control of it, can he give permission? I think he probably can.
No marijuana, methamphetamine, guns, bombs, heroin. You need gloves? You want gloves?
During the search, the officer had the suspect sit in the passenger seat of his cruiser without handcuffing him.
Anytime a cop gives somebody a break or treats them nice or whatever, seems like it always bites him in the ass, right? So he's sitting in the front passenger seat of the car without handcuffs. Keep that in mind as you watch the rest of this. Now, mind you, I haven't seen this, so this is what we call foreshadowing. So news sources indicate that 9 pounds of methamphetamine were found in the suspect's vehicle, along with a 9mm handgun. And you're out on bail on the same type of shit.
Indicate that 9 pounds of methamphetamines were found in the suspect's vehicle.
First of all, 9 pounds of methamphetamine is a lot of methamphetamine. And if he was looking federally, this probably turned into a federal case, I'm guessing. And 9 pounds of methamphetamine federally, you are looking at, especially with his prior criminal history and with the firearm, probably 188 to 235, 188 months to 235 months at least, with probably at least a 10-year mandatory minimum. And when you add the firearm to it, it's a 924C, which that's the statute. And that is a 5-year mandatory minimum consecutive. So you're going to add 5 years onto that. And then federally, they have all these little enhancements. They call them enhancements. But, the term enhancement really is supposed to make something better, but no, not in this case. So they have, use of the firearm, against somebody during the commission of a drug crime. Guess what? That raises it up again. You've got armed career criminal. There's just a whole host of things that you can add, and it just increases the amount of time. And if he's sentenced under the ACCA, that's the Armed Career Criminal Act, if you have 2 priors, you could be looking at 10-year mandatory minimum. If they age 51 you, then you could, with the right predicates, you could be looking at a life sentence. And I guarantee you, this son of a bitch is looking at a life sentence.
Along with a 9mm handgun.
Got a meth pipe. You got gloves by chance, extra gloves?
Yeah. You don't want to be handling anything that has to do with meth with bare hands.
Yeah, that's definitely not her, not even a little bit.
No.
Why don't you just watch her?
Yeah, I'll watch her. Stay there. Hey, he's taking your car. Holy shit.
Oh, shit. Did I leave him in the front seat with the keys in the ignition? Fuck. I can't believe I just did that. Oh, God. Imagine being the cop that did that. I mean, fucking hey, what are you doing?
Taking your car. Holy shit.
Better run, better run. Under no circumstances, and this just happened in one of my cases. He didn't. My guy didn't take off. But he's just sitting in the front passenger seat. They're just talking away like no big deal. But under no circumstances, it should be in their training. You don't put somebody in the fucking front passenger seat with the keys in the ignition, because guess what? They're gonna steal your fucking car.
There. Hey, he's taking your car. Holy shit.
See you guys. Oh, man. You know, the lack of, I don't know how to put it, lack of any kind of guardrails on your fucking conduct. I mean, honestly, who would just steal a cop car while you got all this other shit? I guess you don't give a shit. I mean, I guess you're just going to go on the run and that's your life.
Ridgeville 569, I'm going to be going 1080 with a suspect. He has stolen the K9's vehicle. He is in a police vehicle. We are 202 northbound.
So, does he have the K9 in the vehicle? You know, and maybe that's why he put him in the front seat. That's probably why he put him in the front seat. But that K9, if anything happens to that K9, it is like an officer. It's not just a dog.
We are 202 northbound.
Yes, you heard that correctly. There is a K9 police dog in the patrol vehicle that was stolen.
And these guys love their dogs. They're with their dogs 24/7. They work with them. They probably sleep with them. They do all kinds of stuff with them. But they are their family. So now you've taken part of their family. Guess what? They're going to light your ass up like a Christmas tree. So, but are they going to shoot with reckless and abandon, when their puppy dog is sitting in there, their K9 unit? No, I don't think so.
Northbound suspect taken off in a police K9 vehicle, 1619.
Okay, so this is one of my pet peeves. So this guy in the fucking U-Haul is not moving over after he sees a cop go by him. Don't you look behind you? If you don't move over for an emergency vehicle, that is a crime. You always move over for a vehicle, and if a cop or ambulance is stopped on the side of the road, you get over one lane. Give them some room. That's the law. And if you're driving a U-Haul like a dumb shit slow in the left-hand lane and the cop's coming up to you, get the fuck over.
13, this is one Oscar, I believe it's one Oscar 9 or one Oscar 10's police unit. They're taking the 202 exit. Do I have permission to continue?
Requesting permission to continue taking 202 exit.
Police vehicle.
And when you think about this, think about all the things that are in danger here. You get the cops' own lives are in danger because this is a very violent person that we know he's shot at cops before, but they don't know he's shot at cops before. You got the dog, you've got the general public, and you've got himself. Could have made better decisions.
324, 1620.
He's got a gun.
The gun the suspect is shooting at the officers with is the police department's rifle from the cruiser.
You know, with today's technology, and it's there, you'd think there would be a way for the cop with his phone or something to disable the police vehicle.
He's got his rifle. Oh, shit. Shot.
Gee, what do you think of that decision to let him sit in the front seat now? Fuck.
Shots.
And no matter what, you're not as fast as a radio, number one. And number two, all of a sudden you steal a cop car and you steal their gun, guess what you're going to get? A fucking fiery shitstorm rained upon you.
You got cars coming up.
Yeah.
I don't have a radio.
I'll get in your car. Ridgefield 569, shots fired.
Think about how scary that is for the cops. I mean, they have a tough job, no question about it. And just think of the irrationality of what this guy is doing. He's going into a firefight with these cops while he's got a firefight with the cops pending. Fuck.
Cars coming up.
Yeah.
I don't have a radio.
I'll get in your car. Ridgefield 569, shots fired.
Copy, shots fired, 1622, everyone okay?
Affirm he's attempting to steal someone's vehicle. Go, 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 go!
The pedestrians pulling up to the scene discover a true nightmare. The shooter attempts to carjack their vehicle, walking right up to the passenger side window.
Ridgefield 569, he's attempting to steal a civilian's vehicle right here.
Okay, let's add up all the crimes. Now we got carjacking. You got possession of 9 pounds of methamphetamine. You got possession of a firearm. You got assault against police officers with a deadly weapon.
He has a county's rifle.
Put the gun down!
Drop the weapon!
County rifle, 1623.
Put the gun down!
569 vehicle description, he's trying to steal.
It's a white mid-size SUV.
Copy, all units, white SUV, he's trying to steal. 1623.
We're right here at the 202 by the stop sign. Ridgefield 569, be advised that our vehicle's on the northbound off or on ramp parked to the side.
What an absolutely tense situation. And this guy's no good at what he's doing. I mean, he's going to go to prison probably for 20 years plus.
Vehicle on northbound on parked to the side, 1623.
Put the gun down! Put it down!
Reports indicate that a female driver, unaware of the situation, slowed down to see if the shooter needed help.
Okay, how unfortunate. By the way, do you need any help, officer? Officer? Oh shit, you're not a cop?
Suspect reportedly pointed his rifle at her head and told them if they did not transport him, he would kill them. The driver's significant other made the decision to hit the barrel of the rifle away. The suspect would then pull the trigger and fire it into the center of the dashboard. This caused the car's OnStar system to activate.
Okay, oh my god. How awful is that? Just when you want it OnStar, and all of a sudden now it disables the vehicle. So you can't, that's just, oh man, that's awful.
Temporarily disabling the SUV, they quickly restarted the car and sped away. However, the suspect kept firing at them, causing a bullet to go through the passenger's leg. This is unknown to the officers in the moment.
Back behind the car.
I see it. You got your shotgun?
You know, I actually applaud that pedestrian or the civilian. you know, for not just giving in and just taking off. I mean,
It's in the front.
What's that?
I think I hit his leg.
Gotcha.
The officer did indeed hit the suspect in the leg.
13569. He was firing at that civilian vehicle. They're stopped. I don't know if they're hit or not. He's hunkered down behind county's vehicle right now. I got movement back.
at some point, you think, okay, you know, the jig is up. You know, this is a zero-sum game. He's not getting out of this. I mean, it's either dead or jail, one of the two. It just never ceases to amaze me, the decision-making tree that you must be following when he's doing shit like this.
Passenger side, driver side, rear driver side. Show me your hands. Show me your hands.
Show me your hands or I'm going to shoot you. I mean, fucking A. Oh, how dumb can people be, honestly? And violent.
He's behind that tire.
That dog is just ready to go. And let me tell you something, what happens when the dog gets a hold of you. Holy shit. I had a client who was hiding under a car, and that German Shepherd got a hold of him, and the holes in his leg were like this deep. You know, that's nothing to mess around with. And at some point, he's going to run out of ammo. And he probably doesn't know where the rest of the ammo is, if there is any in the car. But if he does, he's going to expose himself if he has to get in the back of that vehicle.
I don't see any movement.
And at some point, he's either dead or he's, you know, out of ammo. So he's just sitting there. And he's been hit in the leg, so he can't probably run anywhere. So, but they don't know if he's out of ammo, and they have to be really careful how they approach this.
And either side, but he's got a goalie. He can go down, and I won't be able to see him. I don't see movement. I don't see movement. They just mentioned that he went down the ravine to the...
This is where a drone would be very handy. A lot of cops have drones that they can deploy. In fact, I think the new Mercedes has got a little square thing in the top. You press a button and up pops a drone.
As the officers recoup from the situation, it appears another civilian drives by the stolen cruiser.
Uh-oh, we got the shotgun out.
Leave! Get out of here! No, not that way!
Also, unit, advised airman to 10-0 that sees
passes, and officers call in Utah's SWAT team equipped with an armored truck to approach the suspect. Reportedly, he was still able to run off to a nearby river, and a search was initiated.
Well, you got to give him A for effort. I mean, Jesus Christ, tenacious little fella. But that's the only way you can approach that. You know, I mean, you got to have that armored vehicle in order to safely approach that vehicle.
However, he was soon found and detained. There were no casualties during this incident. The passenger shot in the leg, and the suspect were both medically treated. For this incident, the suspect was charged with 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, and 1 count of aggravated robbery, 2 counts of theft, 2 counts of possession of a firearm by a restricted person, failing to respond to a police officer's command to stop, and altering the number or mark on a gun. His passenger was also charged with several crimes. For his crimes, he was sentenced to a 25-year prison sentence.
But other than that, he's a really nice guy. Once you get to know him, I think the officers just didn't really, talk to him nicely.
In 25 years, he will be 60 years old. He was also ordered to serve an additional 5 years of supervised release. As of the time of publication, his case in Minnesota is still pending. It's not the first time Minnesota has allowed a cop shooter to quickly be released on bail. Unfortunately, a local reform-minded prosecutor has begun denying our open records requests, resulting in lengthy legal fights in order to get videos like this one released to the public.
So if he's got 5-year supervised release, that probably means it went federal, I would bet. And he didn't, I don't think they even mentioned, did they mention the drugs in there? They didn't even mention the 9 pounds of methamphetamine. So it may not have been federal, I don't know. But what's going to happen is he'll do one sentence, then he'll have to do the other. So he may have gotten 25 years in Utah, but he still is going to have to come back and deal with whatever he's got in Minnesota. And Minnesota will extradite him back, and they'll do him consecutively. Because when he's doing time in one state, you don't get credit for that in another state. Or if you're doing state time, you don't get credit for that for the Fed time. If you're doing Fed time, you get credit for the state. But generally speaking, if you do time in one jurisdiction, you don't get credit for that. So he's going to be looking at, a 10-year plus and consecutive to that. So that's 37 years plus. This has been our reaction on Midwest Safety's Minnesota Walmart shooter gets released and does it again. There is a lot of talk about bail, about people being released on bail and no bail. Well, Minnesota's in one of those states. You don't have but they're raising the bail. On cases this serious, bail should be high. There's no question that it should be high. But I don't think they're letting cop killers out, willy-nilly, like this, like it says here. And I can tell you this, just from a practical standpoint, being in court every day, bail's going up and up and up. My partner had a murder case that he just won, and bail was $20 million on that case. In other words, you're not getting out. And in the federal system, on certain crimes, it's presumptive detention. In other words, if you have a federal case that's certain drug cases, you're not getting out. You can make an argument, rebuttable presumption that you get out, but there's presumptive detainees all over the place, all over the country. So we'll see you next time here at Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Sign up for Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God.